So you're thinking about moving to Aledo, Texas? Well, in this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Parks of Aledo. And if you stick around to the very end, we're going to discuss how this stacks up against other master plan communities in Aledo.
And if this is your first time to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. And if you want to be the first to know what's happening in the Texas real estate market, go ahead and hit that bell.
Welcome to the channel. My name is Tom Jung.
And I'm Jack Lisenby.
And we're your local Dallas-Fort Worth real estate agents. And this channel is all about moving to the area, knowing all the subdivisions, suburbs,
everything about
neighborhoods. Yeah, you name it, we talk about it. So yeah, we get phone calls every day from folks just like you, whether you're a few days or a few months out. We'd love to hear from you. Give us a call, text, email, or use the link in YouTube to schedule a Zoom call. So yeah. I think that's all the main things I need to cover. So Parks of Aledo.
Yeah.
So Aledo is on the west side of Fort Worth, very sought after, I think, because number one, there's still land out there to be had, and number two, great school. So this is a development that's been going on for a long time, and they are like just opening different phases, right? So right now we're in the Bluffs, and they're about to open up Lakeside, which makes no sense because I've been there and there are no lakes, not even a pond.
Yeah, there's like some small puddles here and there.
Yeah, there might be a puddle. I mean, if it was like the puddles, yeah, then Parks of Aledo, the puddles. That just doesn't sound as good, right? Yeah. But anyways, so you want to kick it off? Drive times, where's it at? All that kind of stuff?
Yeah, and actually, before we end up getting started, if there's anyone from Aledo that knows a little bit more about this area and you want to help out people who are moving to the area, go ahead and throw it down in the comments. Let us know a little tidbit, hidden gem, something that can just help people out. But for those of you who don't know where Aledo is, it's just due west of Fort Worth and south of Weatherford, maybe a little bit more easterly than Weatherford, but that puts it at about a 20-minute drive from Fort Worth and about 22-minute drive-ish from like TCU area. So if you're going to college, need to get a little bit away from the city, maybe you got family out there, it's not a bad alternative. That also puts you about 20 minutes from downtown, so if you're hitting up like Sundance Square or something like that, it's not a bad drive either. Only about 17 minutes to the Central Market area, and about an hour from DFW if traffic's good.
Yeah, and you also have, this wasn't on there, but we had like Hewlin and Clear Fork, all that's about 20 minutes.
Yeah. Not bad.
Everywhere is about 20 minutes, except for the airport. Yeah, so as far as like the community goes, like one of the things, I guess let's talk about why people want to move to this specific neighborhood. Number one, it's close to the high school. I mean, you can literally walk out your backyard and be on the high school grounds in some areas, right? So, you know, if you got a kid and they haven't earned a car yet or whatever, they can bike to class. And speaking of biking, they also have 10 miles of trails to bike on, and they've got like mountain biking trails as well. Yeah. I think I read 150 acres.
I saw the map that they have on their website. If you get a chance, go check it out. But it looked like arteries just throughout the entire neighborhood, just trails like going through all the different greenery they have there.
Yeah, so yeah, so a lot of that, outdoor activities, that kind of stuff. There's a bunch of parks scattered throughout the neighborhoods. And apart from that, you're going to get a lot of modern farmhouse-looking houses. I mean, I joke, I'm like, that neighborhood's all white, and I'm not talking demographics. I'm talking houses. Like, every house in there is white. It's weird. I like...
Hey, I mean, great canvas to paint the house whatever color you want.
Yeah. Truman Show, Beaver Cleaver. I mean, it's like... White House. Very, very family oriented out there though. So like, I mean, I think that's like the biggest draw to Aledo is just the schools. It's very family oriented. There's not much like, as far as like downtown Aledo goes, there's not much there, right? So you are more than likely going to be traveling to Fort Worth for any kind of, you know, typical entertainment type thing. But yeah, very family oriented out there. So.
Yeah, and I know we joked about schools earlier, but Aledo High is actually a very sought-after school, and according to niche.com, it is an A- rating, which for Fort Worth, if you don't know, is pretty good.
Blowing it out of the
Yeah,
water.
really. I think Pascal's like a B+, which is the best in Fort Worth. And then, but if you're looking at the other schools they have out there, Coder Elementary is an A-rated school. We've got Aledo Middle School, A-rated. We've got McAnally Intermediate School, which is kind of like a mix between like a high school or a junior high and a high school.
What, 7th and 8th grade, I think?
Yeah, it's like 7th, 8th, 9th. It's like a transitional school or something like that. A-rated. So you can't go wrong with Aledo Schools. Incredibly sought after school district, Aledo ISD. I know we had some other people in another community not too far from there, a little south, called Bella Ranch, and people were clamoring to get on the Aledo ISD side of that neighborhood.
Yeah, and it's also very well known for their football program.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so sports.
Texas football.
Yeah, it's a thing. Yeah, so if that's what you're looking for, it's a good spot to land. As far as the homes go, so there's if you look at there's a Parks of Aledo website. If you look, there's a ton of builders listed, but as far as the Bluffs go, there's going to be like 3 main builders, and then you're going to find like one-offs here and there. But I figured we'd talk about the 3 main ones because more than likely that's going to be 90% of what you're looking at. And Our Country Homes is one of those builders. Built a very nice house. All of these are going to be, all these builders kind of have that farmhouse look. Some of them are just like stick to it a lot. Some of them kind of mix in some more traditional stuff. You're going to see the 1x4, 1x6 baseboards, you know, not the fancy curves and everything, but very, very farmhouse, like I said. And so Our Country Homes, typically their houses, when you look at them, they're going to have taller ceilings. They're going to have like these vaulted ceilings, or, you know, they'll have a 2-story house where the living room's open all the way to the top. And their homes are usually 2,000 to 3,000 square feet if you're looking to buy something that's already on the ground or that they're building, and those are going to cost you right around $500,000 to $600,000. Clarity is another builder that's in there. They currently, I think, are building the most specs at this time, or pre-existing inventory. I never know what to call it for audience. Inventory home, I think is the term that a lot of people use. So they have the most inventory homes, and one of the things I noticed, like their ceilings aren't as tall. So like even on their 1-story homes, they don't, you know, like right now, I guess what's really in on like luxury type homes is like, you know, 12 to 14 foot ceilings, and I feel like in a lot of their homes they're at like 10 or 11 feet. But Clarity Homes also builds a very nice home, and one of the things that's kind of unique about them is a lot of times they have these different brick accents on the inside of their home. So there'll be an archway that's done in brick, or, you know, the fireplace is bricked up, just something that's like kind of their thing out there. And those, just like Our Country Homes, 2,000 to 3,000 square feet, $500,000 to $600,000. And then you also have Hark Homes. So I would describe this one as like a simple but elegant farmhouse. It's everything they do, like they're like, this is our lane and we're sticking in it, and they do a very, very nice job. But theirs are going to be a little bit more expensive, and they also have slightly bigger homes available out there. So theirs are primarily 2,000 to 3,400 square feet, and that's going to run you about $550,000 to $850,000. And on the $850,000 side, that is some of what you're paying for is the view. So like the Bluffs actually have this bluff that overlooks this whole area, and so if you get a house that has that view, number one, it's amazing, and number two, it's going to cost you. So but those are your main builders out there if you go to take a look around. And obviously, if you are looking out there and you would like to schedule a time to take a look, you can always give us a shout.
Yeah, and I would highly encourage you to do that, because I know some of you guys are sitting there watching this video thinking, oh, new builds, we'll just go talk to the builder, get this thing wrapped up. But I'm gonna stop you right there. Hold your horses, because using the builder's rep when buying a new home is a lot like using your wife's lawyer during a divorce. It's not gonna turn out great for you. Look, they're not.
It might, but it's unlikely.
It's very unlikely, and I'm not out here talking crap about too many builders reps. They're all lovely people, I'm sure, but they don't have your best interest at heart. They are there to get a sale and get the most out of you. So I'm going to tell you to pump the brakes a second and just listen to us, because we've had plenty of people that work with us to buy all sorts of new homes. We have like oh God, like a huge portion of our inventory outside of Fort Worth is new homes. We help all sorts of buyer clients with it, and they have turned out better because of it. Because not only do we know about the other builders and the tendencies in that neighborhood more than just that one builder's rep would. A lot of times when you're dealing with a builder's rep, it may not even be the builder's rep. It may be a stand-in. So you may be getting incomplete information from somebody who probably knows less than you do.
Yeah, and we also have our own incentive program, so why not take advantage of ours? Yeah, and that's another thing. Like a lot of times these builders have incentive programs if you use their lender.
Yeah.
And in my experience, it's not always the best option, although it sounds really good, right?
They always make the numbers come out even at the end of it. It just looks a lot better on paper.
Yeah. So there's a lot of reasons. And then also you want to make sure everything's done right before you close on that house.
Yeah, not to tug our own rope too hard, but I was just as a word of warning, there's always, it always helps to have representation. And I would say the information that he just rattled off about that neighborhood, all of that was from memory. Like he wrote it down just for reference, but he knew all of that going into writing this script.
Yeah. So if you are looking to buy, a couple of things. Number one, if you go into the sales home, like maybe you're just out for the weekend or whatever, and you go in and they ask if you have a realtor, tell them yes. But before you do that, call us and let us know. That would be ideal. But always tell them yes. The deals don't change the way that these builders work. And apart from that, you can go check out the homes while you're there, or we can schedule them for you. You know, either way, but just let them know that you're wanting to work with an agent. Because that's the other thing too. Like the way that these builders work, I know I'm going off on a tangent here, but like some of them price their homes higher knowing that there's negotiation room. Like it's all different, and it's a, you know, it's a game we play. And also we can see what the homes have sold for, right? So
I was going to say, we need to do a video specifically on working with new builds and using a realtor.
We should do that. And then we don't have to talk about it. We just link to it.
Yeah. Keep an eye out for it, guys.
Anyway, so just to sum everything up here on Parks of Aledo, great schools, nice homes, a good sense of community. And if you are still watching this video and you're like, I don't know if this is quite for me, let us know why. We would love to know why. What's missing from this neighborhood? It's like, hey, this looked great, but I'm missing this. I want more of this, or I just don't have enough information. Put that in the comments if you would. That'll help us. And maybe we can say, you know, something was missing. It's like, oh, you need this community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know there's a couple of master plan communities out there. There's Morningstar, and I think this one's, I think Parks of Aledo's biggest competitor is Walsh Ranch, a little bit up north.
Yeah.
But I actually have a couple of comparisons here, so you don't need to worry about,
here we go,
you know, digging into that too much. So when it comes to location, you can, between Walsh and Parks, they're about 15 minutes away from each other. So if you're looking to move about 7 minutes north of the highway, Walsh gets you a little bit closer to Fort Worth. But if you're looking to stay close to Aledo, Parks of Aledo is like literally right next to the high school. So if you've got, and they both share the same high school. So let me put it this way. If your kids are in high school and you're moving into Walsh, they got about a 15-20 minute drive with traffic, depending on the day of the week, the time of the day, to get to the high school. Parks of Aledo kids, they just walk out the back door.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. And I was thinking like the shopping, as far as shopping goes, like either one you're driving to get to the shopping. I think there's more shopping.
There's more convenience shopping next to Parks.
Closer to the Parks of Aledo, yeah.
So I'm going to have to give location to Parks on that one. If you're looking at amenities, Walsh barely ekes this one out. And that's just because they've got such crazy ones. They got a zip line.
I was going to say, they blow them out of the water.
Yeah.
Let's not kid ourselves.
Okay.
Walsh has a lot of really cool stuff.
Okay, but like the amenities you're actually going to use, I feel like Parks has everything you need covered.
I guess it depends on, you know, what you like doing.
That's fair.
Like,
that is fair.
Like Walsh has... yeah, they've got a gym, they've got a woodworking shop, they've got multiple ponds you can fish on, boat on, zip line.
Yeah,
they got a lot going on.
So I'm gonna have to give that one to Walsh.
But it costs you more, right?
It does cost you more, and that's where Parks of Aledo beats out Walsh is on price. So on average, the houses are going to be slightly cheaper, but where you're really saving money is in the taxes and the HOA fees. So Walsh has some pretty high HOA fees for the houses that you're getting. But the thing is, you are getting slightly more I don't want to say value in your house at Walsh, but like polish in your house. They're nice houses. Parks of Aledo, great houses, but there's like a little bit of flair that Walsh added in their builds.
I would agree with that. And they're not all the same color either.
No, that is true. That is true. Slightly architectural a slight
Yeah.
architectural difference.
There's a lot of builders out in Walsh building. Yeah, so there's
Yeah.
all kinds of
So
there's a lot more variety.
I would give that one to Walsh, but I'll give price to Aledo. And if you're looking at internet, because I know that oddly enough, internet's a big draw for these neighborhoods. Both of them, they were both built on a fiber optic network, like from the ground up. So Walsh is Google Fiber, and then Parks of Aledo is AT&T Fiber. And now I can't say which one's going to be better, because they have speeds listed, and Walsh has theirs listed as higher. But I know how fiber optic networks work, and both of them were built from the ground up with fiber, but they were built off of the same high-speed main cable into the neighborhood. So I would have to run my own speed test to be able to get you those numbers, but they're all going to be over 1,000 megabits a second, so you don't have to worry about that. It's going to be a gigabit minimum for both of them. So I'm going to say tie on that one for now. Both have city water and sewer, both have city gas availability, so tie on utilities. So this one's really going to come down to you guys, because that's close.
Yeah, I feel like this is really like, are you going to use all these extra amenities? Or
Yeah.
do you want to be a little bit closer? You know?
Right.
So,
Tell us which one you think won.
yeah. that'd be great. Cool. So that's all we got for Parks of Aledo. I hope this was helpful for you. And any questions, put them in the comments. And as always, if you're looking to buy or sell, remember to keep calm. Call Tom.